All right, today we'll be reacting to another Am I the A-hole story from Reddit. Greta, do your thing.
All right. Would I be the a-hole if I told my parents I don't want to go back to living with them?
Maybe. Maybe.
7 years ago, my 17F parents decided to go on a world trip. Because I was too young to join them, they arranged for me to live with their best friends who they've known since elementary school, and they were giving temporary guardianship of me. These friends, let's call them Pete and May, own and live on a horse ranch in Montana. So for me, having lived in Chicago until then, it was a huge change. I was, of course, really angry, depressed, and sad at first because I felt like my parents abandoned me. Pete and May really helped a lot in coming to terms with those feelings. They've always treated me like their own daughter and taught me so much. I learned how to ride horses and how to take care of them. I help out on the ranch regularly while attending school virtually. We go horse riding in the open country and in the mountains every weekend with the three of us. Oh, that sounds lovely. They even gifted me my own horse to take care of, and I love her so much. Honestly, this kind of life just sits so well with me. I'm genuinely enjoying every second of my life. I do have semi-regular contact with my parents, like once every few weeks. That's not a lot of contact. Sometimes a video call, voice call, sometimes just an email, postcard, etc. But after the initial period of feeling abandoned, I don't think I ever really missed them.
Can you blame her?
Now, my parents have sent me a message saying they're done with their travels and are coming to pick me up so we can live together again. How much they missed me and can't wait to see me again. Which I think is really unfair, because if they really missed me, they wouldn't have gone off traveling for 7 years.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
And I just don't want to. After living so close to nature for so long, really getting into this lifestyle and spending so much time around the horses, I don't think I can go back to living in the city. I don't want to abandon my horse either, and honestly, Pete and May feel more like my parents than my real parents at this point. Would I be the a-hole if I told my parents that I don't really miss them and don't want to return to live with them and just want to stay where I am? I mean, no, I don't think so at all. She's basically lived almost half of her life with Pete and May. She probably doesn't really remember that much about her parents. So there's an update. She goes, update. I didn't expect this to get so many responses. I'm going to try and answer some of the questions a lot of people have here, though honestly, I don't really know a lot of things either. I had a conversation with Pete and May, but they didn't really seem clear on many details either. First off, and probably the most important one, I asked them if they'd allow me to stay, and they told me they consider me their daughter so I can stay as long as I want. They love to have me around. So at least regardless of what happens, I at least will have a place to call home. Secondly, a lot of people mention that maybe my parents are on the run from the law or something else. I never even thought about that possibility. Well, that's actually a good point. I didn't think of that either. I guess it could be true, but I don't really know how to find out, though it's a bit of a scary thought. Thirdly, when Pete and May agreed to take me in, my parents apparently just said they'd go out of the country for a little while. Pete and May took me in under the condition that my parents would visit often, and they agreed, but we know how that went. Pete and May would often call my parents telling them to come visit because I need my parents, but they never came. Pete and May eventually realized, after like 1 year, that there'd be a reasonable chance that my parents would not come back despite the semi-regular contact they had with me. So they would raise me the best they could themselves. Aw, Pete and May sound lovely.
One indicator that she likes the Guardians more is that she calls them Pete and May, which are the endearing characters of Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's a good point. Yeah, that's a really good point. I didn't even make the connection about them being Pete and May from Spider-Man.
Either that or she's just a big fan of the French eyeglass company. How is it that the real parents weren't arrested for abandoning their kid?
I guess technically they didn't really abandon her because they did leave her with their friends and their friends agreed to raise her, and I guess
There was an agreement with the friends to watch her. But was it for a specified period of time?
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't sound like it was supposed to be indefinite, but I guess at some point they realized that maybe the parents might not ever come back. And I mean, they sound like they were ready to raise her as their own daughter forever. So they sound like really sweet people. So she has a couple more things on the update. So So she says, asking about how my parents were when they were younger. Apparently, my parents have always been a bit strange. Very little sense of responsibility, never taking things seriously, always getting in trouble. Guess they didn't really grow out of that phase. This coming weekend, I'm going to sit down with Pete to write a proper response to my parents because I don't think I'd be able to write a message without getting emotional. Hopefully, once my parents read it, things will go like I want them to go, because the more I read the replies here, the more unsure I am about what kind of people my parents actually are. Yeah, I kind of agree. I don't know what kind of people just abandon their child for 7 years.
It seems that they were very selfish, didn't want to have any responsibilities. They left the country and just didn't look back and they're like, oh yeah, we forgot we have a kid.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, oh, we're just going to go traveling around the world for 7 years. Here, Pete and May, you can watch our baby for us. Like, what kind of parents are they?
Very bad. Very, very, very bad. Bad.
And those are the formidable years, her teenage years.
Exactly. I mean, she's basically an adult at this point. Why even bother coming back? But, so actually, I looked for her username, her Reddit name, and I found another update. So let's read that. Intelligent Horse says, so I'm not really sure how posting updates on the subreddit works, so I'm just going to post it on my profile instead. Hopefully, it's visible. Last weekend, I've written a long message with Pete focusing on what a lot of people have been saying. Things like that I want to finish my school here, that I'm already preparing for college here, how my friends are here, those kinds of things. And because of that, I don't want to leave here to begin everything new again in the city. Yeah, a completely valid point. I mean, she's obviously going to have made new friends and gotten used to a new place. I didn't write anything about not missing them or anything that could cause trouble. Oh, she's being kind. I haven't gotten a reply yet. I don't expect one soon since they've always taken weeks to reply before. Oh, that's lovely. So they don't even bother responding to her. Secondly, I tried to do a search for my parents' names to see whether they're wanted or otherwise running away from something, but wasn't able to find anything. I'm not sure if it's because they have relatively common names or because I'm just bad at searching. Honestly, from her previous explanation, it just sounds like they're irresponsible and they don't care. They're just very selfish people.
If she really wants to find out, she can hire a private investigator and they could get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how interested she actually is in finding that out, but
definitely the parents have no stake in her life. They left her when she was young and vulnerable, and they barely communicated with her.
I mean, it sounds like every couple of weeks they would communicate with her, but I mean, we're forgetting Pete and May here, who also raised this child for 7 years. I mean, I'm sure they're very attached to her, and it sounds like after the first year, they basically just had taken her on as their own daughter and assumed they would be raising her forever. Okay, so she continues on with, one part of me is also scared to look deeper. Some people recommended hiring a private investigator. It's exactly what you said. But aside from it costing a lot of money, I'm not really sure if I actually want to know anymore. Yeah, exactly. I mean, she barely knows them, honestly. I'm not sure if it's better to have parents who are negligent and just decided to travel for years for fun, or to have parents who are criminals who are on the run from the law. I guess I'm a bit scared of knowing which one it is if I'm ever able to find out. Pete and May insist that they don't know anything other than my parents saying that they'd be out of the country for a while. They have asked my parents often when they'd be back or when they'd visit, but my parents apparently never gave a clear answer. I don't really have any reason to think Pete and May are lying to me, so I think that Pete and May really don't know the reason my parents have gone for 7 years either. So I guess now I'm just waiting until my parents respond to my message. It's kind of nerve-wracking not knowing what kind of reply I'll get. So this was posted 11 days ago. I don't know if the poster ever actually got a reply back from her parents. There's no updates other than this.
It's really a moot point because she's almost 18 and her parents are just a fixture in her life.
Yeah, you're actually, one of the commenters said the same thing. So they said, if I were Pete and May, I'd probably wait until you're 18 and then only have contact with them when or if they come out there to see you. Yeah, basically, I don't even know what the point of them coming back and asking for her to move in with them now. I mean, she's almost an adult. They really won't have legal rights to her for much longer. So it's not even worth the effort to put in, you know.
I was going to say she can get emancipation, but if she's almost 18, there's no point of going that route.
Yeah. I mean, at most, it's going to be, another year before she's a legal adult. It's not even worth going through the process. I think if she just keeps telling them she wants to stay with Pete and May, they might not even bother to put in the effort to come see her before then anyway. Doesn't really sound like they care much about what's going on in her life.
All right, everyone, thanks for watching.
Please like this video and subscribe to our channel and kindly hit that notification bell.
And we'll catch you next time.